My name is Pippa, and I'm going to show you some work that we had done by the Conscious Builder, including our dining room and our kitchen and our bathroom. In the dining room, when we looked at the house, it had older windows, and in fact this back door was an older drafty window as well. And what we really liked about the house was that the kitchen was at the back, and we really envisioned a patio with easy indoor-outdoor living. So we were really keen to get the window changed out into a patio door. So we had the guys do that. And eventually, at some point, we'll have a deck put in. So we're pretty excited about the future for our backyard. But for the moment, we're just taking things one step at a time. So the kitchen, actually, when we bought the house, was nothing like this at all. The kitchen was just a fraction of the footprint of this current orientation. So on the far side here, the kitchen essentially was maybe a third of this size. It was all crammed in, and then there was a plumbing stack which sort of awkwardly stuck out, and then there was a little peninsula here, and we had the sink and the stove and the fridge behind. And then there was a door leading out to a rickety old three-season kind of old summer kitchen or something, and it was actually peeling away from the house. So the Conscious Builder took that off for us, patched up the door, and then we actually had this window put in. We had sort of a 1980s glass brick window that was kind of more over here, and although it was letting in light, we couldn't see out, so that was no good. So we have this nice big window put in, and something that I really wanted to have done, and which I love, is this deep windowsill for plants and tchotchkes and stuff. So it's lovely to stand at the sink and to be able to look out and enjoy my plants and enjoy the trees outside and so forth. The original kitchen also had a dinette right here, and this wall, there was a wall here and the doorway through. So the guys opened it up for us. And so all the ducting is hidden here in this wall. And in terms of the plumbing, the plumbing stack, they actually tucked into the far wall over in the corner. So we had the arches put in to emulate the arch in the dining room. And we've got some extra storage here on the other side of the peninsula. The footprint was too small to have seats. It would have been lovely to have a little bar, a couple of bar stools, but our house isn't big enough. But this works really well, and in fact, we end up doing quite a bit of stand-up work with a laptop here, which is great. So when we were looking at the original kitchen, the soffit ended, I think, kind of here, and for continuity and also to provide a bit of shelter and variation over the sink, we had the guys bring the soffit across, and they've connected it to the bump out, which is hiding the ductwork. And so we just love how it provides a bit of variation. You get the shelter over the sink, and it makes the place feel a bit cozier. What I really like about Conscious Builder is that they were really easy to work with. So we wanted an IKEA kitchen that was in our budget, and unlike other builders, they said no problem. So they were happy to work with the IKEA stuff. They were happy for us to design the kitchen. Actually, we started off with a designer, but then we figured, working with the IKEA software, we'd finish it, and the guys were totally fine with that. In fact, I did the tiling, and again, they were totally fine with that. They were happy to split up the work as we saw fit, and so yeah, it was really easy to work with them. And in fact, I just want to say how much I appreciate the Conscious Builder. They were very transparent, very open with us. So everything would be uploaded onto Builder Trend, and we could see receipts and invoices for things. And there was no question about how much, where the money was going. And so essentially, we said, this is our budget, X amount of money, and they said, fine. And then it could go to our priorities. So there were no change orders. It wasn't like suddenly the price was being extended. It was up to us to decide how we wanted to allocate the different jobs. And so we insulated. That was another big part of this renovation. So we insulated from the outside, and in fact the job ended up costing a bit more, and so all we did was just pare down some of the other priorities and ended up doing those ourselves later on. So yeah, it was very easy, transparent, and comforting way to work, and so I really appreciated that about the Conscious Builder. So in terms of countertops, we weren't entirely sure what we wanted. We knew we wanted something carefree for around the sink. We didn't want to be dealing with water damage or mold, caulking and stuff. So we ended up going with stainless steel, which is made by a local company, and it was custom made, and we love it. It's a seamless transition from the sink to the counter. So again, Conscious Builder said, you choose the sink. And they were totally fine with that. And then in fact, we took the sink to the counter company and they welded it. So there's no seam, there's no gross corners where mold can start to grow. And it's super easy to put hot things on it. And unlike stone, it's not gonna chip if you put your big, heavy cast iron frying pan, if you knock the edge or whatever. So this has worked out really well for us. And then we wanted something natural for the rest of the counter. So we've got wood, and we love them. They do take a little bit more work than other surfaces. So my husband applied some, I can't remember what it was, linseed oil, but it's worth it because they're just beautiful, and they just add, I think, so much to the kitchen. So yeah, it worked out well. We were wondering what it might look like having two different surfaces. But it's great. And in fact, there's a funny story with the wood here for the windowsill and then the top of the peninsula. Again, we said to Conscious Builder, we want something a bit different, something that's gonna stand out a bit and be a bit of a conversation piece, and they were comfortable with us sourcing it. So I went out to Dunrobin and I bought these giant pieces of maple off a guy, and Sean installed them for us. It's wormy maple, it's got a lot of character, and we love it. And also in the dining room, it's the same kind of thing there for the windowsill. So it just adds some warmth and some character to the kitchen. So I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Dasha Korakan, who is a designer and a good friend of mine, and she offered so much help to us in terms of offering her suggestions for the layout and the finishes and the color. I remember running to her over a lunch hour, panicking about the floor and the tiles and if it would work, and there's just so many details. And so I really want to thank her for her expert advice and patience when we went through this reno. When we bought the house, the upstairs bathroom was just a powder room, which is a bit odd because this is where all the bedrooms are. So we definitely wanted a second shower because we have a couple of teenagers, and part of the reason for moving was to have two bathrooms. So what we did was we stole some space from the master bedroom and kind of shoehorned in a stand-in shower. And again, it was great because as our budget was going down, the Conscious Builder was asking us, what are your priorities? What do you want to have done? So we got the guys to frame the bathroom for us. And of course, they kind of put in the shower, put in the form for the curb, and then brought in their subcontractors. And we had a guy put the floor for the shower in for us. But I love tile. It's something that I'm really into, and I wanted to design it myself. And again, Conscious Builder was totally fine with that. So I went out and picked the tile and worked with the tiler to determine, the best way to do it. And so they put in the floor, they roughed in the plumbing for us, and then drywalled, and then left it and said, let us know if you need any more help. And in fact, gave us the direct info for the plumber and said, okay, now you're working directly with the plumber, sorry, not the plumber, the tiler. If you want to work with the tiler further, here's the guy's number. And by that time, we'd sort of hit the exhaustion point for renos, and we decided to take a break. and just chipped away at it over the summer. And so really the bathroom's not 100% finished yet, but I really appreciated the flexibility that the builder offered us. They were totally fine with it. So we put in the floor ourselves, and in fact it's left over from the kitchen, Marmoleum, which is great, so that saved us some money. And then my dad came over, and little by little we finished the tiling and got the rest of the stuff done. So it's almost ready to go, and it's worked out really well. So we're super happy. We now have 2 bathrooms. So yeah, the floor is made of Marmoleum. It's made by a company called Forbo. Yeah, Marmoleum is an environmentally friendly, soft, durable, I mean soft, meaning that it's nice under your bare feet. So it's not cold like tile. If you drop a plate, like in the kitchen, if you drop something on it, it's not gonna smash like it would on tile. And it comes in super bright, fun colors, and you can actually compost it when it reaches the end of its life. This stuff is amazing. It's used often in hospitals and schools because it is so durable and easy to take care of. It comes in sheets or snap together, or this is the glue down stuff. And I'm not an expert in flooring, but my husband and I were able to install this floor, as I say, with the leftovers. So it's great. It's a super fun, bright blue floor. We bought it from Karastan on Carling. I think they were the only supplier in Ottawa, but online, if you Google Marmoleum, you can find out more about it, and you can see, if you look on Pinterest or you know, some of these other social media sites, you can see all the fun things that people have done with it. Like downstairs, our kitchen is checkered, which is fun, but people really go to town. So if you're creative and you want something different, I totally recommend it.